And today is December 8th, and we have INT meeting. So please call the roll.
Chairperson Wani Garza.
Here.
Vice Chair Ted Masiacos.
Present.
Alderman Jonathan Nunez.
Here.
Alderwoman Schwada Bade. Here. Alderman at Large Keith Larson.
Here.
5 present.
Okay. Approval the minutes 25-0977, and the meeting
So
was
moved.
held on November 24, 25. So motion already made by Alderman Ted Masiacos.
Second.
Second, Alderman Nunez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passed 5-0. Public comments?
No, we do not.
Okay. The first item in the agenda is 25-0678, a resolution authorizing the purchase of computer equipment for Inside Public Sector, Inc., and the amount not to exceed $90,000.
Good afternoon, Chairwoman Garza, members of the committee. Jeff Anderson, Deputy CIO, here for our annual, if you will, ask for dollars for computer purchases. Just maybe some good news here is that in 2023, we came with $250,000 for an ask. In 2024, we asked for $350,000. We're here asking for 90 this year. If you remember, last summer, we got the COPS grant from the state of Illinois, and we judiciously used that money for many things within the police department, but then also to outfit their staff with new computers. So that's why this number is so low this year. We're going with Insight again for a second year because they can get us all the different makes and models we need, as opposed to previously we'd gone direct with Apple, direct with Dell, direct with HP. Insight can get it all for us, and it's just easier. It's one PO that way. So I'll stop and take questions.
Questions, comments? Yes?
From a per unit expense, is it the same as you would pay getting it directly from those manufacturers? Or?
Yes, we actually, in some cases, it's less, right?
Okay.
So, we would buy off a state contract from those vendors anyway. We wouldn't go direct to them, so I was a little incorrect there. And Jessica could have corrected me back there, but yeah, so we would buy off their state contract, and because Insight's so much larger, they can actually get it cheaper in many cases. So, not a whole lot cheaper, but, maybe $50 or $100 a unit, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, that's up.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
You're
Yes?
Thank you. You said how much did we spend last year?
Last year was $350,000.
All right. How many of these are going to, these are like Dell computers, like
Oh, so
desktop, or we're
So,
talking, iPads of sorts, or?
So I don't have that specific breakdown for you. I could give you like a whole ecosystem of what we have if you'd like that by COW, and I can maybe put it in here. What we found was going with the individual POs before. It was, we'd run out in one place and have to figure out what we wanted. So in this case, we can go direct with Insight and just get what we need at this point. We opened a PO at the beginning of the year for $50,000. Right, we now can map out and say we need an extra 40 to get us to the rest of the year, last few weeks here, and then next year, just to maybe answer the next question, is now we're back to a hopefully on a every 3-year cycle. The last few years have been dealing with folks who were using computers that were 6 or 7 years old. So I don't know if I answered your question there. I'm sorry, I kind of went far afield.
Well, I just wonder if you had your inventory, because I still have the same computers when I started 13 years ago. So I find it very interesting you say you're doing inventory from 5-6 years. So they still work.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for a replacement, but I just want to understand how you evaluate that.
So, if that's true, I'm not saying we need to visit you. I think most of the folks have newer iPads that are at the dais. Most folks have gone to iPads, not brand new, but those seem to last a little bit longer than the others. And we know we're running Legistar on those mostly, right, for that. So we can definitely revisit your needs going forward there. We've also had, I would say elected officials are different. Most people have one device that's given to them, right? Some folks have a desktop in their office, a laptop at home, and perhaps an iPad they carry with them, sort of an approach. And so maybe we've missed some of those along the way.
Okay. 'Cause I'm not an IT expert, but We can talk about it offline. I mean, I just want to understand what the
I'll
approach was.
take an action item to make sure we
No,
take
no,
it.
no, I'm not asking for a new computer, by the way, just so you know. Okay, thank you very much. A motion to
welcome.
approve.
So
You're
what they
yeah.
doing with the old ones?
So the old ones, it's interesting, you know, some of them are so old, we have to dispose of them. That's what most of them are. Unfortunately, what you find out is that it's hard for people to take them the way the licenses are. You know, that when we buy them, the Windows license is ours, so we'd have to give it to someone without anything on it. And you find that a lot of organizations that would take those either don't want to or can't handle the fees to get Windows and Office and everything loaded on there. Now they might as well buy a new computer that comes with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
So
Okay.
it's unfortunate that that's just the way the licensing all works out. It'd be nice to just give that license away, but, you know, it's not what the fine print says when we all click accept.
Okay. Okay.
There are no questions, Madam Chair.
No questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion approved by Alderman Ted Misiacos, second Alderman Nunez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Next
you.
item is 25-0871, a resolution to award a contract for well maintenance service to Well 20 to Lane Christensen Company and the not to exceed amount of $225,113.00.
Good afternoon, Bob Lively, Superintendent of the Water Production Division. Yeah, so well 20 is one of our deep wells. Its equipment is set 838 feet below the surface. An interesting fact is it was drilled in 1967, and it's still going very strong. However, the pumping equipment is worn out. It's one of the wells that we use a lot because it's so productive. Normally, that well can pump about 1,300 gallons a minute. And we track our performance of our wells, and it's down about 25% of that, a little over 900 gallons a minute. So before it gets any worse, we'd like to go ahead and hire Lane Christensen after the bidding process to go ahead and pull the pump and motor out of the ground. They normally do inspections and give us a report on what's required for the equipment. A lot of that is unknown until they actually get the equipment out of the ground. So we have it bid. The bidding comes down to two bidders, Lane Christensen, which is a local company, and Waterwell Solutions. Waterwell was actually the low bidder, but under the local preference ordinance, being a local business, Lane submitted a bid that was within 5% of the low bid, and they agreed to match that. So by ordinance, that they can be awarded the work. So we're recommending move forward with Lane Christensen.
Questions, comments? Yes.
Do we know when the last time this, the pump was replaced?
2014.
2014, you said? Is that pretty standard life?
It varies.
Okay.
It depends on which deep well or which shallow well and how long it's been, in the ground between services.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Yes?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Just a question on your evaluation tabulation. Under mandatory alternates, Lane Christensen Company has a $0 number in there. What is
That's
that?
because we're not awarding it on any alternates. It's just the base bid
Okay, so why was it
And the-
mandatory?
and the allowance. That's something that our consulting engineer recommended we do. Mandatory means they provide a price.
Okay.
In case we would require that service, we'd at least have a number.
So did they provide a price and we just didn't put it in this
Right.
tabulation?
Yeah, it's not part of what we're requesting approval for.
I see, okay, all right, I understand now, all right, thank you.
Okay.
Because it can get a little confusing. I don't know why you have it in here personally. I would say check it out at that point.
Well, if you recall, we used to be able to work with Lane Christensen exclusively. We had a professional services agreement with them, and things have changed in the market now where Lane is not an exclusive dealer of the Byron Jackson equipment that we use. Waterwell Solutions can also provide that same equipment. So we could no longer come and say that Lane Christensen was a sole source vendor for this. This is why it's bid. So this is actually the first time we've bid well maintenance work in probably over 20 years or more. So, and we're using OpenGov for the first time. We're still figuring that process out too.
Okay, well, then I would say maybe mandatory alternates removed, or just a word removed
Okay.
somewhere on here as well, just to clarify it, because My first thought was why
Yeah.
are we recommending to give?
Mandatory meant that we wanted them to give a price, so we would have a price, but not necessarily include that in the request.
Okay, well, if.
It's what the engineers do, sorry.
But they did provide a number, you said.
Yes, they did.
All right, so I would say put the number in here, even though maybe it was not accepted. Or remove that portion, one or the other, just for clarity's sake. In terms of
Okay.
how those things get
Okay.
added up. Thank you, Madam Chair.
No more questions, comments? So, can I hear? Motion approved by Alderman Nunez,
Second.
second Alderman Telmesiacos. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next item is 25-0877, a resolution adopting unit price bids for the purchase of various water and sewer repair materials for the 2026 calendar year.
Good afternoon, Kurt Muth with the Public Works Department. So this is an annual contract. We bid out for water and sewer every year to establish unit prices for repair materials that they need to use throughout the year. This year we had 378 individual items included in the bid, and we received 5 bids. So we look at each individual item. We did have one local bidder, so anytime they were within 5% of that low item, they had the opportunity to match, and there's about 15% of those bid items where they did agree to match the lowest price proposed, and those items are highlighted in gray in the bid tab if you're interested. So be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Questions, comments?
Madam Chair?
Yes?
What does this year's, let me pull this up real quick, sorry. What does the budget look like this year compared to last year? Are we pretty close to being in line, or?
Yeah, I don't think this changed much. I don't exactly recall what last year's was. I think they just had inflation and kind of look at the trends of what they've spent in previous years. But it's, as they run out of items in stock, they keep them purchased just to have them on hand in case needed.
And then I know we've also talked a lot about lead line replacements, and so will this go up as we increase our lead line replacements and moving forward, or is it solely separate from that?
This is more for maintenance of the existing system.
Okay.
We farm out or contract out all the lead service line replacement. Occasionally, a contractor will borrow parts and then resupply if it's like after hours or something,
Yeah.
but they're pretty much unrelated.
Just on there, okay, thank you.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Okay, motion Alderman Nunez,
Second.
second Alderman Larson. All in favor say aye.
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 Motion passed 5-0. Thank you. Next item is 25-0917, a resolution authorizing the 2-year instrumentation service agreement with Ash Company for $200,993.40 for the Water Production Division.
Hi, Megan Lures with the Water Production Department. I'm the laboratory manager over there. We're looking to enter into a 2-year service agreement contract with Hawk for the routine and emergency maintenance of all of our existing Hawk equipment that is continuous monitoring and online instrumentation used by the department. And the contract will be for $200,093.40. It's a breakdown of 2 years. The year 1 is going to be $98,085. Year 2 is $102,008.40. We've had this service contract in place since 2005. It covers 88 instruments on the agreement. Basically, all of the instruments are for water quality monitoring, process control, and regulatory compliance. The parameters that these instruments cover are turbidity, pH, chlorine, fluoride, and ammonia. All of these are continuously monitoring in the system. Some are in the building and some are out in distribution. Hawk will do the preventative maintenance and calibration of everything. They also come out and do the repair service with all the parts that are included in this price. The technicians are factory authorized and for the maintenance and the repair of everything. If one of the meters they can't repair, they will send it out to their bench service, and then they will give us a loaner so that we're not flying blind. It also allows us to not have to keep up on a massive inventory of parts to keep all of those 88 meters going. Hawk is also sole service.
Okay. Comments, questions? No? So this company you're saying was still using since 2005?
Yeah, we've had a service agreement with them since 2005.
Okay. So the renewal every 2 years before in the past?
We've been doing every 2 years since 2017.
Okay, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
Madam Chair?
Thank you. Yes?
I see that we had an increase of 23.8%. In years past, since we have had such a long history with them, have we seen a jump like that before?
A lot of it's been with the market and
Okay.
everything, but you get a little bit bigger jump when you go to renegotiate because you do a 2-year contract, and with that 2-year, you lock it in for 4% increase for the second year.
Yeah, I did catch that at the end, so.
So
Cool.
that's part of why it's so big.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No more questions, comments? Okay.
Motion to approve?
Motion approved by Alderman Nunez. Second Alderman Suarez Bate. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0. Thank you. Next item is 25-0923, a resolution authorizing the execution of engineering service agreement with HR Green, Inc. to the not to exceed amount $74,304.08 by including $80,000 of work funds for Phase 1 preliminary engineering support and 2025 Safe Route to Schools projects.
Good afternoon, Alex Nugent, Public Works Engineering. Back in October, we applied for 4 different Safe Routes to School grants through the Illinois Department of Transportation. We coordinated with the aldermen and selected some different projects throughout various wards. Awards won't be announced until spring of next year, but in order to meet the timetables for this grant, we need to start on the Phase 1 engineering process now. We're trying to keep as much of it in-house as we can, but there are certain functions that we're not able to do in-house, so we're consulting out. And we broke down the total cost into the 5 wards based on our total construction estimate for that ward, so it's a proportional amount.
Great. Questions, comments? Yes?
So one of the projects is one that I submitted for the Bardwell Elementary area. When it comes to the actual initial engineering, how soon do we actually get started on this now that we're in the winter?
So there's, oh, excuse me, some things we can get started on right away, like some of the environmental processing is more kind of map-based and that sort of thing, but does have a long lead time, so we want to get things, back into IDOT as soon as we can. We were hoping to get some survey done before the snow flew. Obviously, kind of missed our window on that, but, it's still important to get in the queue as soon as we can. Everybody wants to get stuff surveyed as quick as they can, so, hopefully the quicker we can get going with this, the sooner we're able to move everything through the process.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Yes?
Thank you, Chairwoman. When do we start the communication with the schools?
We've had a little bit of communication just through the initial application process. We probably won't begin any further communication until we take it a little farther through the IDOT process, just as we kind of get things more fleshed out in design and we actually start getting pen to paper on, where some of these projects might actually fit. Can give them some nice maps and everything.
And is it possible to talk to schools once we receive the grant if they want to participate?
Yeah.
If we are falling short anywhere?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes?
Yeah. What is our process in marriage to the mapping you brought up as well? We just talked about a little bit with school districts.
We coordinated with the school districts, with the aldermen to figure out our actual project locations. There are some areas where we're constructing new sidewalk, so until we get actual topo and begin the engineering design, we have a general idea, it's gonna be on the west side of Eola from here to here, but we don't have an exact layout of, is it gonna be 7 feet off edge of pavement, 5 feet? We've got some trees to work around, those sorts of little details on just exact placement of some of the facilities.
What I'd like to try, what I'm trying to work out in my head is right now is where their bus routes are. School districts would know their bus routes and kids getting to those pick-up and drop-off points, whether they're going in or out of a school zone, away from the high school to a middle school or grade school or, vice versa. So have we ever thought about reaching out to them and having a sit-down discussion in regards to where it's best to improve our sidewalk situation and also help the city out and all the aldermen where it's best to put them, working in conjunction with the school district. I mean, that's where my thought process is moving forward. So that way maybe we can also maybe forecast our ward funds too, moving forward if this grant keeps coming before us.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had that specific sit-down before. I think it would be a great opportunity to do so maybe before the next round of applications. This is a biannual program. So, you know, we're kind of what we applied for now is what we're pretty locked into. But I think before the next round, you know, maybe a little bit in advance of that would be a good time to sit down with the school, sit down with the aldermen and figure out kind of our best spots for applications.
Yeah, because that's where I would come from. I mean, I can give you a spot or two or three or four, but is that really where the priorities are right now, especially with kids trying to get to a bus stop location in the morning or getting off the bus and going home for general routes. So I think that's where I'm trying to take this conversation moving down the road. I have no problem with this resolution. It's definitely necessary, and I know my colleagues want to move forward with it as well, but some of us have a different approach right now, and how do we prioritize the locations, and that's where I'm trying to get at. And without a map, and since you brought up the word mapping, that's what I would love to know, where the maps. I mean, we have maps for our lights in the city. We have for our alleyways and whatnot in terms of where they're at, in current state. So it'd be great to see that, a mapping in regards to the conversation with the school district and their bus routes and where there may be a pressing need right now, maybe at least in my ward, and part of the new parts, not just East Aurora, but also part of the new parts down on the south end. So that's all. Appreciate you listening, but hopefully you'll do it. Can't make you do it, but.
Yeah, no, I think we're always looking for, you know, trying to make this program as successful as possible and look to coordinate with the schools a little bit more to try and kind of figure out some more of our hot spots for our next application cycle.
All right, thank you.
Right. Okay. No more comments? Okay.
Motion to approve?
Motion approved by Alderman Nunez.
Second.
Second, Alderwoman Bate. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed, 5-0.
Thank you.
Next item is 25-0950, a resolution to award contract for the East Well Collector Combination Pressure Reducing a Pressure Sustaining Valve Replacement prior to Dupuy Mechanical, Inc., not to exceed amount of $128,592.00.
Bob Lively again for the Water Production Division. Yeah, so this project was publicly bid. We received 2 bids from mechanical contractors to do the work. The apparent low bidder was disqualified due to bidding discrepancies. That leaves us with Depew Mechanical. We're recommending to move forward with them in the not-to-exceed amount of $592. The existing valve is inside the treatment plant. And it's developed a leak. It's similar to having a water main, but it's inside the treatment plant. We have the leak under control right now, but when we're going to move forward with funding that we'll have available in 2026 to replace the valve and ancillary piping along with it. We want to get ahead of it in case something does go wrong with it. We want to fix it on our own schedule rather than having it break or, you know, having something more severe occur. We'll lose our east side wells during the construction, but that's only for a couple of days. Like we recommend Depew Mechanical for that.
Questions, comments? Yes?
No. Thank you. So this valve ran for 23 years, is that what I read correctly?
Yeah, it's a modulating valve. It operates 24/7.
Wow.
Yeah.
23 years ago to today, technology has definitely evolved.
Yeah.
When it comes to the valve, I mean, have we seen changes in engineering to maybe think that it may last even longer than the 23 years, or?
Well, the valve is still good.
Well,
It's
the leak, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the pipe wall. So if you get internal corrosion, you're going to get a leak. That's kind of hard to control or
Yeah.
work with. It's just like I said, it's like a water main that pops. and, you know, develops a leak or a crack, and then you gotta replace it.
Okay.
It's an in-kind replacement. The valve is basically similar technology.
Okay, so
It's
not-
the same, it's an in-kind replacement. It's the same brand we have.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
no questions, comments? No? Okay. Can I have a
Motion to
Motion?
approve?
motion approved by Alderman Larson,
Second.
second Alderman Ted Misiacos. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is 25-0985, a resolution to award contract to Thomas Engineering Group LLC for residential inspections and engineering services.
Hello, Brian Wadakowski, new development engineer. This contract is up for renewal this year. It's for inspection of new development, construction projects, so the public improvements that are included in every subdivision or warehouse or whatever project that comes into the city. We had 16 firms submit qualifications for this, and our three-person panel selected Thomas Engineering to move forward with. It's actually kind of a joint venture with Thomas Engineering and Engineering Resource Associates. We would recommend approval. If you guys have any questions.
Questions, comments? No? Okay. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Alderman Ted Misiacos,
Second.
second Alderman Nunez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0. Thank you. Next item is 25-0993, a resolution authorizing contract with IEPA PWSLP loan forgiveness agreement with Brand Excavating Inc. for the lead service replacement project contract 3 for the bid amount of $2,719,008.50 pending approval and IEPA loan forgiveness loan.
Good afternoon, John Hoffman with the Engineering Division. Back in March, we submitted for our third contract for a loan forgiveness. We received approval for $2.465 million of grant funds. So we went out to bid and opened up bids in November for about 300 service replacements. We received 5 conforming bids, and Brant Excavating was the low bidder at that $2.7 million cost, about 12% under our estimate. So this resolution gives us the authorization to sign the post-bid documents we have to submit for approval to the IEPA, and then also to sign the loan once that's approved.
Questions, comments?
I have a question.
Yes?
Thank you. What's our target replacement number for lead pipes? You said 300 is what we went out for the bid for. Is that what we're hoping to get replaced in 26? Or-
For this specific project,
For this
yes.
one?
Yes.
Just wanted to double check that. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes?
Thank you. So it looks like this is only in certain census tracts. Is that correct?
Correct.
And are these census tracts that already have a lot of lead pipes that need to be replaced?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. No more questions? Comments?
Motion to approve?
Motion approved by Alderman Nunez,
Second.
second Alderman Larson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0. Okay, no other items for this agenda? Can I
Yeah.
have a motion adjourned by Alderman Nunez,
Second.
second Alderwoman Bate. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we adjourn the meeting at 4:29. Thank you very much. Thank you, bye.